Alright, so it looks like we have the fuel balanced as much as we can. This whole thing is completely full. All the RCS is full. So this whole thing is completely refilled. The next section, all three of these tanks are full. That tank is whatever, 90% full. And then I have to refill these three. So I will need, I'm guessing, approximately 2 more refueling missions to completely refuel this thing, the interplanetary driver. So in addition to this vehicle here on the nose, I'm going to dock the plane and the fuel station and the plane back here, and hopefully it's balanced enough to fly, because it'd really suck if I'd have to undock this and flip it around so that this docking node was sitting here. Look far below us there. I believe that's that's Kerbal Space. Singularity Aerospace Innovations launch site right here. So let's get this fuel tanker off. Separate using the RCS. Set a maneuver node to deorbit this thing. Usually I leave a few units of fuel in it to deorbit it, but I really don't feel like doing that for this one. Watch our RCS fuel, because we only got 37 units. It may actually not be enough fuel to completely deorbit this thing, so we'll have to see. Just use a little bit of RCS to give us some speed in our turning, and then I'm just going to use the torque generated by the pod. I'm just looking for the maneuver node that I set. There it is. Hopefully I can just use the momentum I got from that little bit of RCS and steer using the torque, the innate torque, because if you notice I'm not using the RCS at all. So let's lock the SAS. Actually, let's see if we can just use a little dart of RCS down to 37 units. I'm just holding down, trying to use the torque to arc myself up a little bit. Alright, so that's good enough. Let's lock the SAS. We'll not save it. We'll leave it like that for now. Fast forward time here, and you see now that little dart of RCS that I gave to separate myself from that thing, that's not what has given me all this distance. What's given me the distance is the fact that our orbits naturally are... Actually, no, that's a lie, because I was docked with it, so my orbit was... Once you dock with something, your orbit becomes whatever the orbit of the object that you dock with was. So that little dart of RCS was enough. That little distance that I created there was enough to create, we're going on over 600 meters. Alright, so I'm just about at the point where I want to start using up my RCS here to... turn off. Oh, that was bad. So I'm just going to use up all my RCS fuel here, burning retrograde, 12 units, 11 units, 10 units. Hopefully it's enough. It might not be, actually. So, let's see. It was enough. So if you look, that put our orbit, our periapsis is at 62 kilometers, or 62,000 meters, which puts us within the atmosphere, because the atmosphere ends at around 70 kilometers. So that was enough to successfully deorbit this this unit. So, and I'm still close enough that I can switch back to here. Turn the lights on so we can see what we're doing. And just make sure to see 91 for our apoapsis, and our periapsis is 73. So if you see, that's just barely above the atmosphere, which is good because it's easy to dock with in that way. And then anything that I want to deorbit off of it, such as this fuel tank, or tanker, I should say, is easily done. So we'll speed up time here, and we'll finish the mission. I mean, you could just click end mission, but there we go, beautiful Kerbal sunrise. So if you look up here, we're actually just dipping into the atmosphere. So if I look at my apoapsis, should be, yep, there you go, shrinking. So that's what you're doing is you're aero braking. So that's slowly, you'll see shrinking, and eventually it'll pull. So this will be shrinking too, but that'll stop shrinking once I hit the periapsis. It'll just shrink from here to about here, and then when I'm at the periapsis, it'll stop. It'll stay at whatever it is, and then from here to here, it'll continue to shrink. But we should actually have our orbit pulled in. We'll probably end up, our orbit will end up close to dropping us in here, which means that once we're our orbit will be bent into here, but then our eventual landing point will probably be back here somewhere, because once we enter the atmosphere completely, the thickest part of the atmosphere will slow us down dramatically. So we'll turn up the physical acceleration, and we'll enjoy the show here, hopefully. So I guess just a closer look at this unit here. We'll put the solar panels out. So, You see the 4 toroidal Aerospace engines. Docking clamp, more docking clamps on the side because I, had this idea of sending, like I was going to fly a couple of these up, one right behind the other, and then just dock them together and have a bunch of fuel up there, but I haven't had the time or energy to really do it. So you can kind of peek into the innards here. I had to leave it open because, well, you need at least one way to click on the tank. That's the only thing about the way that they have it, is you have to physically click on the tank in order to transfer fuel. So, I close it up mostly at this end. I mean, you can still get at it if you really want to pick around. Again, like, you got to be able to get at, this is the RCS tank here, and I have another big RCS tank back here, so you can get at the end cap, so it's easy enough. And of course, you can get at all 4 of these tanks. So usually, by the time this thing is in orbit, these tanks are, like, by the time I get myself docked, these tanks are empty. So I have the central tank plus 4 of these FLT800 tanks left over. Also, you'll notice the placement, the way I did my RCS thruster blocks. I did them up in twos. Of course, it uses, every time I hit a button to use my RCS, every time I use the RCS, there we go, see our orbit continuing along. So we weren't dipped in far enough to the atmosphere that it completely degraded our orbit. So there's the jet fuel station on the landing pad. So we'll just have to continue the aerobraking maneuver. Now, of course, we're not in atmosphere right now. We're up in the 70s. So what's going to happen is we're going to end up nothing's changing now because we're not in any atmosphere. So we'll come around. I'll come around to the. So let's see, we're out of atmosphere, so we should be able to accelerate. There we go. Accelerate a little faster. Let's see, I was trying to spot. There we go. There's the Laythe bound ship. I guess the Exodus ship. So here we go. We're back into atmosphere again. What are we at? 68. So this will probably be our last time around Kerbin. You'll notice some of the weird effects, artifacts, I guess. The sun's reflection on the planet. Some of the lights on your ships will also illuminate planets and shit like that from impossibly high distances. It's more of a bug in the the graphical settings than anything. So again, we're just playing the waiting game, getting some great there we go. Getting a great aerial view of Kerbin, though. Let's put our SAS back on. So I don't like twisting and turning. Just looks unprofessional. I gotta say, I really love this fucking ship, though. These little solar panels are really rugged. It doesn't really need, if you notice inside of here, let's see, where is it? You can see them. I got 4 RTG blocks mounted in there. Oh, it doesn't show you. And 4 RTG blocks. Let's see. Well, apparently I only put a battery on one end of that. That was kind of silly. Or wait. Actually, I think it balances out with the probe body I use. So I got a probe body at one end, and I got a battery at the other. And their weights are very similar. So, again, like, because I knew that this ship was going to be, like, its whole purpose for living is to, or for existing, I should say, is to dock with things. So I really went out of my way to, make it fucking super balanced. Placement of the RCS, the placement of all the objects, all the panels. I mean, you can see how painstakingly, straight and perfect pretty much everything is. I mean, obviously, if I took all these panels off, this thing would be a lot lighter. Because as it is 31 tons. That's funny because I think this whole unit is lighter than the new jet fuel tower thing I made. But I don't know. I think that might be a little too ambitious. The jet fuel with the apartments on it, the jet fuel gas station, I guess, for lack of a better word, with the refuel, or with the 4 habitats that I got built on it. Jeez, did this thing make a liar out of me? It did, huh? Fuck. Orbit's down to 73. So hopefully this time around will be the last time around. So, I mean, a lot of people just, like, click end mission, but I don't know. I mean, I play the simulation, so it's like a simulation. And if you're just, ending missions and stuff like that, then I don't know. It just seems no good. So of course the flight times for this stuff get all fucked up because I mean it's been 1 hour since it's undocked from the other ship. So I mean the flight times are correct right up until you dock with something, and then it's going to screw it all up. Especially if you have like 3 or 4 different ships with different fucking mission times and different mission times, and then you dock them together, then you're going to end up with. See what we really want to see happen is to see this dip below 70. Because as soon as this is below 70, then no part of your orbit is out of the atmosphere. Then your speed fucking just dies. And it looks like this thing is going to be... So this... You'll see how quickly the orbit will degenerate now. And it's not something I really paid a lot of attention to. Right, like I mean, it's decreasing here, but it's going to be decreasing over here a lot faster. 57, 800, 69. See, our apoapsis will actually probably dip down so low that it'll switch places with our current periapsis. So our apoapsis will be our periapsis, and our periapsis will be our apoapsis. Because of the RTGs I have on this thing, the 4 little solar panels I got on here are probably a little redundant, but because of the shape of the ships, I thought that, if I dock, how cool would it be to have like 8 of these docked together, like 2 side by side, and then 2 in the front, and then 2 more here, and then 2 more there. Like basically just a giant version of this thing once they're all docked together. I thought that'd be really cool. Of course, that'll be and then, as you need fuel, you just undock them from one another and fly them away, right? You would need to fly the whole thing. So we're still experiencing some graphical anomalies and bugs. Now, what you're seeing there, of course, is the pop-in of the train. As the game loads, the higher textures, the closer you get. There we go. Apoapsis and periapsis is changing. See, they're swapping positions. So periapsis was over here. This was our closest point, and they're gonna change directions altogether, or change periods altogether, positions. So you can see up here, this will probably, you'll see it increase more and more. Aerobraking on any world is kind of there's kind of an art to it if you're going to do it properly. Like, if you're going to use the aerobraking for an assist for your landing. Because, just think of how much my orbit has changed. And the only little bit of fuel, think of the massive change in my orbit. And I did that with 20 or 30 units of RCS fuel. I got double RCS blocks set up, but it's still the same amount of fuel. You just get the thrust faster. That's pretty much it. So the ship's starting to turn into the airstream now as we get into the thicker part of the atmosphere. Those solar panels, there we go. I was going to say, our camera should switch pretty quick here once we enter orbit. The camera reorients itself. So yeah, here we are passing right over the space, center. A nice shot of the atmospheric haze, very upper levels of the atmosphere. Make it, quote unquote sunset as we move again to the darker side. The edge of our galaxy, whatever galaxy we're in. It's a spiral galaxy, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the Milky Way. Andromeda's a spiral galaxy too. And here we go. 29 kilometers we enter. Oh, there goes our solar panels. 29 kilometers we enter the atmosphere. Wow, this thing looks sexy, burning up. So if you noticed, I'm going in engines first. That's only because of the way that I was pointed, because of the balance. Like, most of the time you go in engine first anyway. With a big ship, you almost always want to, on purpose, go in engine first. Because if not, you might end up flipping over engine first anyway. And so there we go. We've slowed down enough that we're still supersonic, but we've slowed down enough that we're no longer, getting heat trails and whatnot. So again, the other idea behind using the toroidal engines is, again, simulation. Nuclear engines are, radioactive. And if you're got a ship that you're going to be flying around in the atmosphere and close to your planet and then crashing into the planet to get rid of it, time and time again, why do you why would you want to have radioactive engines burning up in your atmosphere, or radioactive engine exhaust being used in the upper atmosphere? There you go. I guess I should have been looking more down, but it's all she wrote for that ship. So to the tracking station, and let's go take a quick peek at the hell is it? I went past it 3 times, didn't I? Wait, did it change its name? Jet fuel station. Oh no, it's still called X's Drive Mark II. There we go. So, with that, that'll be the end of this video.